Welcome to the Rock Fight, where we speak our truth, slay sacred cows, and sometimes agree to disagree. This is an outdoor podcast that aims for the head. I'm Colin True, and today Shawnté Salabert and I will be talking about a whole bunch of outdoor adventure topics. But before we get to any of that, this is our third episode of the week here on the Rock Fight. So if you missed the other ones, go back to Monday and Tuesday's episodes and check them out. And then be sure to come back for the Battle Royale this Friday to hear Shawnté Salabert, D.O.G.E, Schnitzbahn, and I do the first ever outdoor town draft. And lastly, are you heading to Switchback in June? If so, be sure to put the Rock Fight live on your agenda for Tuesday, June 17th at 5 o'clock in the Trailheads Theater. I'm going to be there. Producer Dave's going to be there. Owen's going to be there. Shanté's going to be there. If Switchback is going to be the event of the summer, this will be the event at the event. Don't miss it. And all right, stick around. We'll be right back.
Welcome to the Rock Fight, Rock Fight, Rock Fight.
All right, folks, time to set the record straight. A few weeks back, listeners heard me rant on about a new sandal from Lem's Shoes. That sandal, the new Switchback sandal, was a classic single-strap, single-post style that I, without much knowledge, accused of being just like someone else. What I wasn't informed on was Lem's unique take on making footwear, and let's just say a few rocks were thrown back at me, and rightly so, because Lem's has really elevated the design of minimalist, natural movement footwear, anatomically correct, zero-drop comfort, and lightweight outdoor performance. And the Switchback? It's crafted from a single piece of material and features a unique single-strap design with one buckle for super ease of use, added comfort, and getting it on outside. You can go get yourself a pair right now at lemsshoes.com, where you'll also find that Lems is running a 20% off sale from now until May 11th. Oh, and hey, retailers, did you know that Lems is looking for wholesale partners? Hit them up at support@lemsshoes.com to add a little flavor to your shoe wall. And be sure to stop by and say hi to the Lems team at their booth at Switchback in Nashville this June. Check out the new Switchback sandal and all of Lems shoes by heading over to lemsshoes.com. You're listening to Rock Fight Radio.
A ball sock for all times. It's no ordinary sock. It does what it says it does.
Fit. Our socks merino, but they don't fall down. This sock fits better than your sock. A funky shaped sock that's an elegant solution to budging in the toes, heel slippage, and falling down at the ankle. A sock with patented knit structures that achieve whole foot comfort that you can really feel like, whoa. A sock that acts like a base layer. A sock that's all about the base layer. A thermoregulating, moisture-wicking, body-forming base layer. Fits is a sock that fits better than your sock, maybe even the best sock ever. It really could be Fits, a bold sock for bold times. It's no ordinary sock. It does what it says it does. Fit, 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 fit. It really could be Fits. Layer.
Well, you got DJ CT right here with you, and that was Bold Sock, the first big hit we ever had from Fits. Fits has been knitting the hits since 2014 with their patented whole foot comfort approach to making fine gauge merino performance socks. They make some of the best basics in the biz. Retailers, make sure to stop by and say hi at GOA Connect this June. It will be sure to put a smile on your toes. And now, back to the show. All right, it's Wednesday. Shanté's here with me. We're going to be running through some stories that come out of the outdoor adventure community like we do. But, Shawnté, it sounds like you had a little adventurous weekend yourself this past weekend. I know it's Wednesday now, but this past weekend you got out of town. You did some stuff.
I did some stuff. I went up to Bend, Oregon via Portland. I had to fly into Portland and take a shuttle bus to Bend. Because Avelo canceled my flights and then rebooked me on 2 different days because they decided to run deportation flights for the government. So,
are you serious?
Yes, I'm serious.
Oh dear God! So you had to do the that's not a short drive.
No, well, somebody else did the driving, which was really nice. So, I just looked at pretty trees.
What is happening?
And Mount Hood was out the whole time, which was really nice.
That's nice. That is nice when the volcanoes are out. Yeah.
Yeah, it was nice. Yeah. But I went down to Bend, good old Bend, Oregon, for an event called Adventurous Women or Adventurous Women Escape. It's a old friend of mine, Severia Tilden, who I met when we were both teaching at the Sierra Club. Well, technically, I was a student, and I went on one of her trips, and I got a giant wad of choya stuck in my calf about 5 minutes into the trip.
Oh, dear God.
We got it out, and then I got a pencil choya through my shoe just a couple minutes later, and she actually...
Oh, dear God.
She thought I was a plant because she was testing out to be a leader, and she thought, she's like, is this woman doing this on purpose? I was like, no, I'm in pain.
Yeah, you're bleeding.
Yeah, but so instead of kicking me off the trip, we actually became really good friends. And that, I don't know what that says about either of us, but she invites me now to come up and teach at this women's event. It's super cool. I'll tell you more about it later. But
I know you got our party shot later.
Yeah, I got a party shot. But yeah, I got to teach navigation. You know how I feel about map and compass. And I
don't know if I do. How do
you?
you feel about map and compass?
I have a deep, abiding affection for them both. I love a little analog navigation.
Oh, we got a problem.
You got to put Red Fred in the shed, man.
Well, we had a problem because when Owen was giving me grief for how you left him off of our adventure racing team.
Why do we have to keep bringing that up?
He was telling me how that would be his role would be as navigator on the adventure racing team. So now we got a competition.
Well, I can't compete with Owen until he's fully forgiven me, so he gets to be the head navigator.
I am totally gaslighting you into you thinking it was you because
you are. Even though I know, you know what? You're right, Colin. Actually, it was you all along. What is it? You rascally kids, curses.
Oh my goodness. Well, our top stories today are presented by your hub for ultralight gear, Garage Grown Gear. Head to garagegrowngear.com and check them out.
I'm so happy, Colin, that you did not refer to it as GGG.
Let me look ahead.
Was that for me? Don't do it if you're tempted.
I might at the end.
Please don't.
They write the copy. They refer to themselves as GGG.
Lloyd, I know you and I don't really know each other, but please don't refer to yourself as GGG anymore.
Triple G.
It's just hard to say.
G-Man Lloyd Vogel.
Oh, my God.
All right, anyway, on Monday's episode of the Rock Fight, we inducted founding members of the outdoor industry into what we call the Self-Inflicted Wound Hall of Fame. And this first story, I'm not sure it's a first ballot member of that Hall of Fame, but it is definitely up for consideration. Because per a press release, Major League Fishing, which I didn't know was a thing, but apparently it's a thing, it's going to be hosting a, quote, field of top pro anglers at the 2025 Major League Fashing Tackle Warehouse Invitationals. And then it's all going to be streamed live on MyOutdoorTV. But the self-inflicted wound here, Major League Fishing abbreviates itself as MLF. And when you look at it, 99% of the world will look at it as MILF. So
99.9% of the world is looking at that as MILF.
It's so egregious. Like you open it up and it reads streaming live on MLFNOW.
Wow. Like they're going to get a whole different market share and maybe that's why they're doing that. I mean, there's going to be some accidental tune-ins for sure.
I guess that's really my first question. Were they in on it? Were they like, oh yeah, we know that this is going to like reach a certain demographic
Everyone
that
loves
we want?
A good bass, a good bass. See, this is what happens because I'm in music. I think of the word bass and I think bass. A good bass, a nice healthy bass, and a MILF. I mean, what more do you want on a
Who's going to clean the fish, right?
That's what MILFs do. They're there to clean and to sensually tantalize you. Sensually tantalize is a phrase I've never said and I don't think I'll ever say again.
Well, we're off to a rip-roaring start here in the pod.
Wow.
I mean, I just kind of looked at them like, I think they need to get Pornhub as a sponsor. I think is probably what they should do. I think it's in the cards for MLFNOW on MyOutdoorTV.
Wow. I mean, we are recording this the day after Mother's Day, so I don't know how I feel about MILF jokes the day after Mother's Day. But yeah, I had no idea I'm just going to say I had no idea there was something called the Major League. And it's just Major League Fishing, right? It's not like Major League of Fishing. It's not MLF.
No, it's just MLF. But when it's capitalized, it looks like MILF.
It does. I mean, I have to say, watching fishing is second only for me in sports-related boredom to watching golf. And I say this as somebody who owns multiple fishing rods. But honestly, now, when I saw this, all I could think about is the absolute inordinate amount of time I spent watching this show called John Gillespie's Waters and Woods, billed as, this is what it's billed as, the Midwest's #1 fishing show. Oh. And my stepdad loves John Gillespie, the fisherman, the celebrity fisherman in the Midwestern states. And I have watched so many episodes of that show. It's just strange, absolutely strange. But he says he yells things in the show, like they'll have a dramatic reenactment, like he's getting a muskie or something, and he'll be like, get the Frable to whoever his assistant person is. And I'm like, what's a Frable? For like a full year, I had no idea what a Frable was. And my stepdad and my sister would just yell it at each other randomly throughout the day. And I found out it's like some sort of net or something. But anyway, I guess
I didn't know that.
More exciting than golf, apparently. Very milfy.
I think I think, and maybe it's a regional thing, because in New England, there's Charlie Moore, the Mad Fisherman. I don't know if this is still on, but this is when I was like late 90s, early 2000s.
Wow.
And he's like a Boston guy, thick Boston accent, and he's like going all over New England, and he's really like, he definitely plays to the camera, right? And it's like tries to make it as interesting as possible, understanding that he's fishing, but he goes to little ponds and places all over New England and like does fishing stuff. So maybe that's a thing.
Huh. I love the idea that there's just a subculture of people who are this into fishing. It's like their Super Bowl is maybe the MILF is their Super Bowl. I don't know.
It could be. I'm starting to think that they're in on the joke, that they did it on purpose. Yeah.
Please tell me, MILF, are you in on the MILF joke?
If anyone knows, myrockfight@gmail.com. We need it. I get to the bottom of this. And so MILF TV. Good job, Major League Fishing. Next story, while we love our new stuff here on the Rock Fight, we've also been beating the resale drum since we've been around. So it was encouraging to see that per SGB, resale platform ThredUp raised its sales and earnings targets for the year after a strong first quarter, even if the self-inflicted wound that is the tariff situation, this is a running theme, I guess, this week, we're dealing with resolves in a positive manner. Resale is still a giant opportunity for the outdoor industry. And I don't think you and I have had a chance to talk about this in the pod yet. So I was kind of curious of your thoughts on resale and secondhand and companies like ThredUp.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I mean, I have been thrifting since childhood. It was a thing my mom and I would do. She'd give me like $5 and be like, have at it, kid. And I would just come out with a bunch of scarves. I don't know why I was really into scarves as a kid. Scarves and aprons and teapots. I don't know if I was cosplaying like
teapots, interesting.
Mary Poppins or something.
I was going to say, were you like a British, upper class?
Hello, would you like some like a spot of tea? Nope.
Would you fancy a crimpet?
A little crumpet, a scone.
Crumpet.
A scone.
Sorry.
Which I learned. I always thought they were scones. Why are they scones?
It's scone?
Scone.
It's not a U.
No, it's just like a disappointed biscuit. Scone.
I have notes, England. All right. Sorry, keep going. About secondhand.
Yeah, that's a special episode next week. Is it British boners? You did. I listened to part of the episode.
We said brand boners.
You did say brand boners.
And it's in the show notes too. I couldn't
really
resist.
Happy about that. Good job.
Thank you.
But no, okay. So to the topic at hand, I'm a big fan of secondhand, and especially when it comes to outdoor gear. I mean, we have so much crap in this world, and there's just the sheer amount of things. You go into a dollar store, you go into the average person's house. There's just so much shit that we all have. Yeah. And, I feel like we just are at this point where we consider everything to be disposable, including, in a lot of ways, other human beings, which is its own topic.
Yeah, as evidenced by why you had to drive the Bend this weekend.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. But I really do think, the answer to like people are upset with the tariffs, obviously, for all the big reasons. We talk about how it would kill small businesses for these to stay as large as they've been, or they've been announced as. And, one of the answers, if we're thinking about like, well, what are we going to do? We don't want to cut down our forests. We don't want to mine everything out of the ground here. And we just keep pushing it on to other people and other countries. Maybe we should actually turn an eye inward and look at how we're consuming things. And I think the secondhand marketplace is a good way to do that, because you can still get that little Pavlovian ding in your brain,
100%.
You still get to consume.
Yeah.
You could still buy some things. But yeah, I also think when it comes to outdoor gear, I mean, I'm very particular. I look on Poshmark though, and I will look up the Hokas I use. I have found brand new Hokas, like older models, because there's nothing that drives me nuts more than the fact that they continually change like 1 millimeter of the shoe, charge you $10 extra, and then call it a new shoe.
It's the 8.5. It's like, can you just
that
keep
1
making the 8?
millimeter of change just fucks up your whole foot.
Right. And you get corns.
And you get corns. Never forget. I won't. But it drives me nuts. But so I've gone on Poshmark and found brand new Hoka Speed Goats version 2, the Speed Goat 2s that I used to hike in all the time. Now I'm an ultra girl. But yeah, so I'll do that. I recommend for people who are getting into, especially things like backpacking and hiking, like I wouldn't recommend you buy used climbing gear or anything else super safety related.
We don't know where this harness has been, but you could buy it for $50.
Yeah, this rope looks good on the outside. We have no idea if there's an intact core. Good luck to you. But yeah, it's great. I do Poshmark. I love my local Buy Nothing group. I think ThredUp is a great opportunity. Yeah, there's just so many options out here. I go back to that sort of like 90s. It takes me back to the Natural Wonder store when I think of that phrase. I feel like it was big in the 90s, like reduce, reuse, recycle.
It was, yeah.
It was a 90s thing. Yeah.
I think it's still a thing too, isn't it? Is it still a thing? It must be still a thing.
Well, I'm going to make it a thing.
All right, here we go.
Listen, take that beautiful 90s environmental maxim to heart, y'all. Like, think of the Natural Wonder store. Maybe a Putumayo CD is like chimes ringing in the background. You're wearing like a wolf t-shirt. Reduce, reuse, recycle. I think this is great. I love to see it.
Well, and as I know you and I have battled in the past about the phrase "cotton kills" and understanding that in your backpacking world, there is still a place for that, but largely, especially in warm weather activities, as people tend to take more liberties with how they dress going outside, like river trips, bike rides, you see a lot more button-down shirts and stuff like that, which I'm not a huge fan of, but I understand why people are. Just go to the thrift shop. Go to Goodwill.
Thrift shop.
Like you know, you get a beat up shirt that you can like sweat it and get gross. You can go climbing in or something like that. So yeah, it makes sense. But,
by the way, there was a woman this weekend at the event I was teaching at who we were joking about cotton kills, and she's like, "Well, in the Army, we call it the fabric of death." I was like,
wow.
Wow, that's even more aggressive. I'll try to work that in the future.
It's like if next time when we do outdoor industry band names, that's going to be a leading contender. The fabric of death.
The fabric of our death.
Yeah, that's right.
I didn't want to go full gut. I could do full screamo there, but I didn't want to scare the listener or you. Maybe I'd be willing to scare you, but
well, we all appreciate that you didn't.
You and my microphone are grateful.
That's right. I got to buy another microphone. Keep blowing them out. Last one before we move on to our main topic. Per an article on MLive.com, 300 billboards in 40 different cities around the country have been put up that are highlighting national parks in the area with the tagline, "Now with reduced staff, made possible by D.O.G.E," and has been paid for by nonprofit More Perfect Union, which uses grassroots organizing to raise awareness about and support issues faced by working class Americans. I mean, just great. I love a little troll like that in a public place that you don't know who's going to drive by that on a daily basis and what their reaction might be, and right on the mark. Yeah, because it's just honest. There's nothing made up about it.
Well, and I love too. So it just uses that traditional. Like if you haven't seen them, it's in the news this week, and I think it's actually 400 billboards in 40 different cities, and they targeted places near gateway towns and things like that, but big cities. Highways, stuff like that. But I love that it's using the traditional. You look at it and you think, oh, I love that park. Look at that beautiful. It looks like a postcard or like a visitors bureau made it or a chamber of commerce or something. And then you look at the words, you're like, wait a minute. And I love it because I think it's really designed to hit the everyday person. It's I said this, I think, last week. Public lands, outdoor access, these are generally bipartisan issues, And I think this kind of advocacy is a great use of messaging, money, time, effort, because it's going to hit a lot of different people in a really non-online sort of way, like a very analog way. People are going to see it. And that reduced staff thing is going to hit all these people who are planning trips, maybe not planning trips this summer because they're worried what the park experience is going to be like. I think really at the end of the day, the everyday person, the average person who is not politically engaged has to become angry for a lot of this stuff to change. So I want those Midwestern moms and like rural talk Radio 11 uncles to just get angry when they realize like, oh shit, this is going to suck for all of us.
You got to go full Inception, right? Like I was literally just today was listening to a songwriting podcast, where the artist breaks down their songs with the host, and the person was saying about how there's like a scientific study about how one of the hardest things you can do is try to get someone to change their mind. Like we are so like glued to our thoughts that even in the face of evidence, we oftentimes will not change our mind. Yeah. And so you can't just say you're wrong about the guy you voted for, or you're wrong about how you feel about a certain way. But what you can do is put up a sign. It's like, hey, you like national parks, right? Yeah, they're kind of getting fucked up right now.
Right.
And that might just flip a little trigger in someone's head. They're like, oh, wait, what? And like, so you have to kind of you have to implant the thought like in Inception so it becomes their own idea. Otherwise, it's just not going to work. I
mean,
love a
that's-
big, billboard that makes fun of things that I don't like. Of course, who doesn't? But it's like, it doesn't do anything.
Right. Yeah. Shaming,
Yeah.
I feel like that's the whole thing, is like being real shamey with people. Just listen, I get it. We all have some rage we'd like to take out on our fellow Americans from time to time, but that shamey stuff just doesn't work. It doesn't change minds. Nobody's going to go like, wow, Shawnté, thanks for being, piously angry at me. I would love to change my mind. No. It's got to impact like their day to day, but almost like you said, almost in that sneaky, and this is how advertising does this so well. So it's great that they're using advertising to do this.
Yeah.
It's like the positive side of advertising, I guess. But yeah, that's almost subconscious shift in how you view an issue.
Well, good job. More perfect union. It is 300 billboards, by the way. I fact checked it.
That's fine. I like
So
400. They should have done 400.
440.
Okay?
I mean, you had the fours. What are we doing here?
They should
All right,
have
you know
done
what? More perfect union.
9,007
Where's that
billboards.
extra 100?
Guys, get on it. I'll send you a couple bucks.
Well, holy shit, it's Small Business Sales Week 2025, Shawnté. You remember
Wow.
when we met at that Molly-fueled EDM festival for Small Business Week Sales Week 1999? How crazy that was?
I was wearing my Natural Wonders t-shirt, wasn't I?
Small Business Sales Week. It's always off the chain. Anyway,
It hits hard.
for Small Business Sales Week, Garage Grown Gear has teamed up with over 90 small outdoor gear brands to offer you amazing deals to celebrate all things small business. Now more than ever, it's essential to support small businesses. After all, they are often the ones leading the way with gear innovation while being most rooted in the actual hiking community. So help us support the small guys to keep them thriving in today's uncertain world and score the best gear in the process now through May 20th. Check out all the deals at
Garage Grown Gear.
via the show link and show. So we're banning GGG.
Can't say it. I saw it in the notes, listeners. He had GGG in there.
I copied and pasted it. I didn't write it.
Lloyd, I'm going to start. I don't even control how the ads are done on this show, but I'm going to start charging more if they want that in there.
So that's the
10% increase.
Salabert
It's my
upgrade.
tariff.
That's it. Yeah, that's right.
The
Salabert tariff.
inappropriate acronym tariff.
But if it's a MILF story, it gets a discount.
That's free basically.
All right, our main story today is presented by Oboes, who loves hiking. And as the Cupid of the outdoors, Oboes wants you to love hiking just as much as they do. And our main story, I think it's our new segment, and we're going to, you coined it. It's time for Why Do People?
Why do people?
Why
in
do
all
people?
caps. This is because I texted it to you. Why
Yes.
do people?
Question mark, exclamation point. You got to have both.
Yes.
Because you sent me the story. According to people.com, a 47-year-old Florida man was gored by a bison in Yellowstone National Park earlier this month. This is one claim that Florida man can't claim for himself, though, because as we're going to find out, the man was gored after he approached the bison too closely, and he sustained minor injuries. Now, this is the first incident of this type for 2025. According to the same article, there were two similar incidents in 2024, one of which when a 40-year-old man kicked a bison.
Sir.
I assume substances were involved. They must have been.
Yeah. All the brain cells had left the building at that point through his foot, I guess.
And another when an 83-year-old woman got too close to a bison and then was gored and lifted about a foot off the ground.
Wow.
So these types of incidents occur frequently enough that Shawnté have to ask why. Why do people do this?
Why do people?
What's the attraction? I mean, is it that unobvious that things could go poorly?
You'd think, Colin, for you and I, like I've seen bison. I've been to Yellowstone. I've been in the car when they come in their herd and they're really close to the car and everything. There was not one single cell in my body that was like, let's get out of the car. Every part of my body wanted to go deeper into the car. Like,
Yes.
How can I get inside the engine
That is a
of the
massive
car?
animal.
I mean, I get the curiosity, right? Like, I do not know how many times I've said to friends when I'm out, I just want to hold or pet or adopt or cuddle that marmot, raccoon,
Sure.
black bear, squirrel. Listen, I suffer from a little bit of cute aggression with my own cat, so I understand it.
Cute aggression.
Yeah, it's when you just want to pick them up and just go. That's a technical term. But yeah, I mean, when you just motorboat your cat in the belly, like that's a light bit of cute aggression.
Is that a MILF callback or is that a...
that's next up on Pornhub. the Pornhub of the outdoors when you motorboat a
With cat
mountain lion.
motorboating.
Yeah, it'll be mountain lion
Well,
motorboating.
these people, this guy would motorboat a mountain lion, clearly, because
I think so.
yes.
Florida man will do anything. I mean,
Yeah,
I
well,
think
we know that.
The best
Yeah.
part too is that article, and it wasn't the only one. People reported on it. There's a couple other places, and a lot of them said Florida man in the headline, and it's just at this point, it's chef's kiss.
Every time. It never
Every
gets
time.
old.
Yeah, it doesn't. I'm ready, willing, and able to ingest all Florida man headlines. But I think for most people the survival instinct kicks in, and then but some people just feel safer doing stupid shit in national parks because they figure, oh, it's not going to be that dangerous. They're letting us all roam around here. There's railings, all that, and B, somebody's going to come help me if I get hurt. It's that weird sense of like, I can do no wrong because I am protected here. And you see it in Yosemite, like every year people drown in that park, even though the signs are in so many different languages. There's pictures that are just very morbid of people drowning. It's just like one hand in the water and a hand is like, help
Well,
me.
it's like the Grand Canyon side of the people puking during getting heat stroke, and it's so graphic. And it's like, this is why these signs exist.
It's just a mystery to me. I mean, I guess at least we get some good headlines out of it. I mean,
I just can't conceive of this. I was trying to think of animal encounters I had where I haven't felt safe. I'm a dog owner. I've been a dog owner my entire life. I own 2 dogs right now. And even just not that long ago, someone had their dog off leash and it came charging at me while I was just on a walk. It wasn't even a hike. And it was, so it's just like, that's a dog, right? So that like smaller animals that can really do damage and can be vicious.
oh yeah.
The other one is, sometimes, you get on a trail if it's going through like pasture land or something like that, and you can encounter cows.
Oh,
and cows are massive animals.
I have been menaced by cows more than once.
And it's like, and you feel like I should be able to kind of maneuver this thing or get around it, but it's still, they've got horns and they're like, it's just not.
And they're mooing very aggressively. I mean, and there's like a cute moo, and then there's like I would murder you if
fuck
I
off
could.
moo. Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I'm just trying to picture myself of the situation where I'd be like, I'm gonna go touch the bison.
I'm just gonna go touch it, bro. That's like the people who go in the hot springs, though. It's all the same people. I feel like we talk a lot about how there's all these distant genetic relatives that we share. I feel like all those people must be related somehow. They
you're
share a
probably
genetic
right.
through line. I need the DNA. Like if any scientists in this country still have funding, I want them to stop what they're doing and just research like what is the genetic tie-in for people who touch wild animals and people who jump in hot springs and go over the railing at Yosemite.
It's an interesting point about like sometimes if there's lack of railings, maybe that's the dots. Like, well, there would be a railing here if we weren't supposed to go walk up next to this thing.
No, but they go over the railing. They didn't care. Nobody cares about the railing. I've been at Yosemite the last few summers, and I've been up by some of the big waterfalls there, and there are railings, and there are the spooky signs and talking about people dying there. And you would not believe half the time there's more people on the other side of the railing than there are on the safe side of the railing. And I just walked really fast past that because I don't want to have to use my wilderness first response skills, nor would I.
You're okay with reading about the who earns the Darwin Awards. You don't want to see the act being committed.
I don't want to. I don't want to be a witness to it.
I think this does prove why Jurassic Park was a bad idea from the beginning. Imagine if that was real. Like, hey, look at the T-Rex. I can go touch it, right?
This does make me I want people to write in myrockfight@gmail.com. Tell us about your wild animal inappropriate behavior stories.
Yeah.
Please. And then tell us why. I just want to send me a brain scan, something, anything. I just want to know about you and why you're like this.
I would like if you have if you know better and you're still like, God, yeah, you kind of really do want to go touch the bison. Like, I'd kind of like to understand that more because it just seems like that's an obvious don't touch right there.
It's like one of the most obvious don't. But there's been enough stories in the news at this point that people should just see a bison. Bison should be the international symbol for an animal not to touch. Like animals.
We did a Rock Fight action figure with 2 close tourists, and it was a bison with a woman trying. Like, I'm gonna touch it.
Strong pheromones, maybe. Maybe bison just emit really I didn't feel it because I was in my car. Maybe if you're outside of a car and a bison strolls past, you're like, whoa.
I do think you're onto something though with the situation, because the only times I have not been to Yellowstone, but I have been around Bison on Antelope Island in Salt Lake, in the Great Salt Lake.
Ooh,
It's
yeah.
got a big island. There's just wild bison out there. Well, maybe they're being farmed. I don't know why they're out there, but they're out there.
Domesticated bison.
There you go. But when you're driving around, because it's just basically a remote island, it's not that well visited like a Yellowstone is, and you see them, and if you then are driving up to them and they're pretty close, every instinct in your body is you should stay in your car.
Yep.
Just stay in your car, because that thing will just trample me.
I mean, I've been to Africa. You know what? Africa. I actually get out of the car and pee. I was in Tanzania, and it was just me and the guy driving the car. And we were out there for hours on the savannah. We were on the Tanzania-Kenya border in the Serengeti, like pretty epic thing. And I really had to go to the bathroom, and he's like, okay, but when you leave the vehicle, you have to keep your body touching the Jeep at all times. So I had to slide my back alongside the Jeep, go to the back of the Jeep, squat and pee. There are like giraffes looking into my soul, zebras looking into my soul. I think there was some wildebeest in the area because it was during the migration. And then I had to slide my little scared ass back inside the Jeep. But that was an exercise in pure trust of that man, because I was convinced at any moment, like a rhinoceros or something was going to come out of the bush and just annihilate me.
He probably was like, 50-50.
Yeah, he's like, go for it, lady.
You can touch the truck. We'll see what happens.
Touch the bison.
Yeah, that's right.
It's like, no sweat on my back. You already paid me.
That's right. Your check cleared, so we're good. You can live or die. It does not matter. So... Well, welcome back to the fold here in 2025, Florida, man. We missed you. You know, way to touch that bison and get gored.
But just lightly.
Is there a worse descriptor of an injury than being gored?
Can I ask, when I have a very vivid image of what happened to this man.
I would love to hear it.
What do you think of when you hear that someone got gored by an animal?
I think my mind goes like, obviously something sharp penetrating like in your belly. It's like, it feels like a soft tissue spot.
I go right to the butt.
Yeah.
I just imagine that horn is going right through your buns. One bun. Your right bun.
You are not sitting well for a long time, sir. Oh, that is really funny. Well, we'll never know. Florida man, keep it to yourself. But today's main story on The Rock Fight was presented by Oboes, who wants to share their love of hiking, and we want to help them by uncovering all the different reasons we love to take the long walk, including the following. Number 1, bears don't send texts. They're like bison. They sit around and wait for you to hug them.
Aw.
That's why they're there.
That's why they're there.
Bears are fine. You can hug a bear all you want.
Oh, yeah, go for it. Yeah, brown bear, have at it.
Number 2, I had to include this one today. Nature does not judge your ugly hiking socks.
What is this about? Have you felt judged?
In Gigi's.
Wow, they're not ugly.
Well, anytime you're kind of highlighting your toes, it's not a great look.
You don't know my toes. You've never seen them.
I've seen...
You haven't.
They're still covered up. I mean, like anytime you're accentuating
the toes. And they're going to remain
like...
covered up since you obviously won't appreciate them.
Do you have good-looking toes?
I don't know. They're just toes.
Yeah.
Got arthritis in my big toes. It's not that exciting.
You and your feet. We're going to have a new podcast. Shawnté and her feet.
It's because I'm an active person, Colin.
It's true. Or I don't know why. So am I, but I don't have feet problems. Yet. Number 3, to yell, I regret this! Halfway up a mountain. I've been there.
Emotionally.
Maybe not those specific words. Definitely like the fuck am I doing out here? Like, this is terrible.
I did have a moment on the Colorado Trail where a gust of wind knocked me over, and then I screamed. Like, it knocked me over like a turtle with my backpack holding me down. And then I just remember like shaking my fist to the sky and screaming, I don't want to be here.
The lowest side for me are those like mountain bike races, and just like I was doing one in Park City and it was long and just couldn't. My legs were done, and it was like a rock garden, and all I wanted to do was throw my bike in the woods. But it's like, if I throw my bike in the woods, I'll feel better for a split second, because guess what? Now I gotta go get the bike and continue to push it up this hill. So, and now I'm just mad that I have to do all that. So
many emotions out there.
Seriously, the definition of type 2 fun, I guess. Number 4, because the dog demanded it. Dogs are needy when it comes to hikes. They all want to go hiking.
Yeah.
You should have a hiking cat.
She couldn't. No, you should. Nobody should have a hiking cat. They don't want to do that.
That's a thing.
I mean, it's the thing. I follow some of them. What is it? It's like Henry the dog and Baloo the cat.
Oh, that's cute.
I follow some celebrity hiking animals.
Well, you're all about the celebrities. Number 5, hiking means the Bridger Boot Collection. The Bridger Ridge is here to help you smooth out the rough trails in front of you with enhanced stability and protection. The Bridger Ridge is Oboe's first boot with Gore-Tex. So bring on the smiles and the miles in the Bridger Ridge. And if you were in the Seacoast, New Hampshire or Southern Maine area, you can buy your own pair of Bridger Ridges at Bridger Ridges is fun to say. At
Bridger
Kittery Trading
Ridges.
Post in Kittery, Maine. And then you know what you do? You hike on over to Lil's Cafe for their cruller, which is the single best donut on the planet. It is an opinion I will die defending.
Wow.
And this, yeah, it's really good. And this hiking...
I can't. I have to just, now I'm thinking about donuts, Colin. I'm thinking
really
very
good.
specifically.
It's
There's a
really good.
If for listeners who know, there's a place here in Highland Park called Donut Friend, and I've walked past Donut Friend. I don't live in that neighborhood, but I've walked past Donut Friend 3 times.
This is in Los Angeles.
It is, yeah. 3 times in the past week for various reasons, and each time there's one donut they have on that shelf that is it's like a beard pop-up cream puff situation where it's like just a little bit of donut on either end and then a slab of whipped cream. And I have to fight the instinct to buy it and just eat the middle out of it because I can't have the glutens. So I just want everyone to applaud me for my self-restraint because,
well done.
Man, every day I just want to go face first into that.
Just make sure you let us know when you eventually succumb to the urge.
I will. We'll have a follow-up. Don't worry. It'll happen soon.
Right. This hiking appreciation moment is brought to you by Oboes of Bozeman, Montana, certified B Corp, 6 million tree planter, and inhabitant of the greater Yellowstone ecosystem, where there's also bison, apparently. Oboes is the maker of premium quality footwear for the trail and the Cupid to the outdoor world. Oboes love hiking.
It's time for a party shot.
All right, it's time for the parting shot, and Shawnté has something to say.
Oh, I mean, I always do. I just defer to you sometimes, which is what women do to men a lot. We defer to them. So I'm going to talk about the event that I taught at this weekend, which was an all-women's event called Adventurous Escape, run by the Adventurous.
Let me interrupt you 1 second. Are you supposed to emphasize the us? Is it Adventure
Yes,
Us?
because that's how it's spelled. It's Adventure, capital U-S. It's like
are you just supposed to say adventurous?
You're probably just supposed to say adventurous, yeah.
Okay, I was wondering. Sorry, because the U is capitalized. I didn't know if you were supposed to.
They
want you to.
But I just want to say, apparently, I'm here for the emphasis. I'm going to emphasize some things.
Okay.
But no, I went and I can't remember if this is my 4th or 5th time teaching up there, but I teach, as we've discussed, that you just learned about me, navigation, map and compass, which I love. And then I teach backcountry skills, which is a lot of, it ends up being, I do this thing where I talk about what are your fears. We put them on slips of paper anonymously. And it's without fail, every time I've done this, it's the same 4 categories. It's like, getting hurt out there, dealing with animals, dealing with the emotions of being solo outside. And then number 4 is always men. So I've got some work to do.
Maybe
guys.
that should be first, probably.
It might need to be first.
Yeah.
I hold out hope that it doesn't have to be, but no, it's just, it's interesting because I don't know if you remember when REI used to do their Outessa events. Was that a thing that was on your radar? Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big deal for a little while there. I mean, and then that's just kind of one of those cuts that happened to REI, right?
Yeah, one of the many, death by 1,000 big cuts. But the Outessa thing, I liked the concept of it, but it was real bougie. It just wasn't a thing for me. I was like, well, if someone wants to pay for me, I'll go. But I also consciously, quietly had this thing where I really thought, I was like, I don't know how I feel about being in women-only spaces. And there's a lot of them. You've got trail. Like I have a Trail Sisters hat that I wear all the time. A friend got me after I did my first half on the trail. There's women cycling groups, etc., and so on. I've taught at women's hiking groups before. But I always had a little bit of a reservation. And so it's interesting how much I love it now. And what's cool is that I'm shocked every single time we do one of these, at the end of it, how much people can transform within a few days. And there were several women on this cohort, if you will, who straight up almost canceled like the week before. And it was really interesting hearing them talk about it. And a lot of them were saying like, I just don't think I want to hang out with that many women. And it's a small group, but
interesting.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if I'll like it. Are women going to be catty? Is it going to be like very dramatic and, blah, 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 blah. But I think, it upends people's expectations of what it's going to be, what it's going to be like to be around a bunch of women outdoors. And I just thought it was amazing because the majority of the women there for this one they were veterans. And I also did not realize, Colin, that women veterans, I've never thought about this before, do not have the same opportunities to get together in community like dudes do. Like when you think about Veterans Day and events and like even Sierra Club, military outdoors, and all of the things that happen for veterans, there's a ton of stuff that happens that supports veterans, but you very rarely see women as the face of it.
Right.
And so it was amazing to see these women come in and sort of soften to the idea of being around a bunch of other women and have it completely change their perspective. Like these women were out there mountain biking and going hard. They're climbing. They're doing, their stand-up paddleboarding, doing all this cool stuff. They're also getting introspective. Like I even got every single one of them to put glitter on their face at the end. Personal. I don't even like glitter. So
I didn't say you didn't strike me as a glitter type.
I'm not. I put glitter on my own face, just to be fair.
Nice.
But yeah, it really got me thinking about sort of how we view women in the outdoors and how we view places where it is majority women. And do we still see that as like, oh, look at these girls out there for a fun time, and it's like a big slumber party? Or do we give women credit for being badasses and doing things and just being good athletes or being, good teachers in the outdoors or whatever it might be? And it's like I always come away from these things sort of reaffirmed that we need to have spaces like this for this exact purpose, that it's not just the men sometimes that think less of us, it's sometimes we think less of each other, and it's just always super inspiring. And I just want to go basically move to, where does Wonder Woman live? It's not the Isle of Lesbos.
Themyscira.
Okay, I always want to call it the Isle of Lesbos, but that's different.
Well, I mean,
I'd go live there too, to be honest.
Sure.
Bye till I die. But yeah, I love it. I want to encourage more of these kinds of spaces. I think too, like, we've got an administration right now on the federal level that is saying like, oh, that's discrimination when you get a bunch of women together or whomever it may be, right? Like affinity groups and things. And it's just bullshit. Like sometimes people do need to be in groups with people that they can identify with, like where they don't have to put on airs and pretend to be one way, and they could just ask all their questions. Like, it's great because people ask me every single time I've done one of these. People ask about going to the bathroom outdoors. People ask about like butt chafe, all sorts of stuff that maybe they wouldn't ask in a mixed gender group. And listen, if there's anything I love talking about, it's butts and poop. So, there you are.
It's the never-ending challenge of the marginalized groups, and probably just in general, not just the outdoor community, right? Because you're absolutely right. I never really thought of it that way. You either have, it's rare that just sort of like badassery in a certain group gets to stand on its own unless it's men, it feels like, right? It's either, oh, here's a bunch of women together and they're like, maybe they're dressing up or doing something interesting or fun that they're having like a good time in the outdoors, and it's like, well, that's not really that hardcore, and it's like, and then, or if there is somebody, I don't know. It feels like there's always a way to nitpick.
There's always a way to nitpick. I think in general, too, when you have these kinds of things, people look down on it and they're like, well, they're not, that's cute. That's cute that they're getting together, but they're not good. Like a friend of mine runs an organization called Black Packers, which is the best name ever. We've talked about it before. But
I think I follow them on Instagram.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're rad. But it's the idea, too, that like if you have a bunch of Black people showing up at a ski slope, that people will be like, oh, that's cute. Like it's a charity or something. And it's like, no, these are just people who want to go and have fun on the slopes like you. And it's just historically like people weren't allowed on the slopes. And historically, women weren't allowed to do a lot of really cool shit that we love to do now. And so, yeah, I wish people could just change their perception of what it's like, when you're not a straight white man doing these things, because there's a lot of really talented, really hardcore, really fun people out here doing a whole bunch of shit. So it doesn't have to be, it's not like, oh, cute. It's oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah, that's the measuring stick to me. Like, right, what you just said is like, women who are like, I don't know about this, like not responding well.
And then you go and you see, okay, it's not about that. It's actually just about like having fun with like-minded people and pushing your own boundaries and seeing what you're capable of, and maybe deciding like, oh, wow, I can go much further than I thought.
All right. Good parting shot.
Woot woot.
That was a good parting shot.
I can't believe I just wooted. Please just delete that call.
No, that one stays in.
I don't ever want anyone to hear me woot.
You wooted yourself.
Oh my God. It's even worse. Wow.
Well, we started with the MILFs and we ended with women empowerment. I don't know what that says about the show, but
it says nothing and everything.
There we go. Well, that's the show for today. We want your emails. Send them to myrockfight@gmail.com. Let us know what you think. We'd love to hear from you. And also, the Rock Fight's a production of Rock Fight LLC. For Shawnté Salabert, I'm Colin True. Thank you for listening. Krista Makes is back. Actually, it was Krista Makes Podcast that I was listening to that I referenced earlier, called Krista Makes a Podcast.
Oh,
a great name.
I didn't know that. That is a great name.
Yeah, and it's a whole songwriter. He has like, a lot, not just ska stuff, like all genres, and they break down like famous songs. It's great.
Not
anyway,
just
he's here to
ska stuff.
Well, you know, I wanted
Such a Colin thing to say.
I wish it were, but it's not. Krista Makes, but he's going to sing the Rock Fight song, and we'll see you next time, Rock Fighters.
Rock Fight.